everybody? Welcome back to Popcorn and the Popcorn. I'm your host, Katie, and today I have Matt. How you doing, Matt?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Good morning. Thank you so much for coming on and coming to hang out with me.
Thank you for having me.
um, so I hope you had a great week. It's the weekend, so that's always nice, you know.
Exactly.
Um,
Had a very long week.
so what was that? Go ahead.
No, I just said I had a very long week, so it's always good to relax on the weekends.
I know the feeling. It's been a crazy, rough week, so I know the feeling. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so how did you get into acting?
So it kind of started back when I was in grade school. I went to a creative arts school, and I was always like an introvert. I was a quiet kid back then, but we had drama class, and I would always kind of gravitated towards it. We did little plays and things like that, and I always had like a very strong imagination, and I would always daydream and envision myself playing different characters in films because I watched a lot of TV growing up. And
Mhm.
eventually, when I got older, when I got in high school, I kind of decided, hey, I want to be an actor when I grow up. And so we did a play when I was in 10th grade when I was 16, and I played an old man. And I got
Mhm.
really into character. I was like basically a method actor at that moment. And I had my hair dyed, like put
Mhm.
powder in my hair and really took on the role. And everybody, it was a play called The Lottery. And I played the
Mhm.
character Old Man and everybody just kind of complimented me and raved on how well I did playing that character, and
Mhm.
that kind of planted the seed a little bit. What kind of allowed the seed to blossom, but I really decided that that's what I wanted to do with my life at that point. And then some other things happened in life. I joined the military and spent some time doing some other things. So kind of got put on hold for a while, and then
Right.
finally I got back into doing some theater when I was in my 20s. And then after
Mhm.
that, um, I had a family member who was posting stuff on Facebook showing them doing playing an extra, doing background work on different TV
Mhm.
shows that are done in the Chicago area. And I asked him, hey, how are you getting on these TV shows? He pointed me to a Facebook group that casted for background actors for the show Chicago Fire. And
Mhm.
just pretty much history from there. I started doing background work. I got an agent, and then I got another agent. And I just pretty much took off from there, and here I am.
That's that's awesome, and thank you for your service in the military. That's awesome.
Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome. Good morning, Val. How are you? Good morning, Lynette. Hey, Hatchet Boys. How you doing? Thank you guys for stopping by. Um, what is your favorite role that you've done or been an extra
Um,
in?
oh man, so far, my favorite role would be playing the character of Tony Two Toes in the film I did with my friend Austin Galante, Sweet Killing Machines. It was an
Mhm.
interesting independent film. I played a hitman who gets who gets hired to do a job to take out a senator, but him and the other hitman who don't know each other get booked by the agency that they work for in the same hotel suite. And basically, the film is about the two hitmen hanging out, trying to figure out what they're going to do for the night. One of them, my character, does drugs, does shrooms, and he starts tripping out. And the other character has a prostitute. They do a bunch of different things that you would think regular guys would do, like two college fraternity guys would do, and it gets kind of silly and wild. And
Right.
the actual job that they came to do, which is killing the senator, is like the afterthought of the film. And it's
Mhm.
just a funny film with a lot of interaction between the two characters, and it was fun playing that role, being silly, being kind of goofy, but at the same time being playing a hitman who's supposed to be a killer and
Mhm.
supposed to be dangerous. So kind of get to play serious and funny kind of at the same time, and that was a fun time. So so
Yeah,
far that was
I thought that was fun. Your character was fun, especially when he takes the shit. I was laughing. I was drinking. I got a sip of my water, and then all of a sudden I almost spit it out because I started laughing.
Thank you. Yeah, I was improv. A lot of that was just improv. I was just kind of going with the flow at the top of my head. A lot of the stuff I was saying during that scene. So, but yeah, that was all Austin with the special effects and everything.
Right. Yeah. Austin's amazing guy. If you guys have not gone to check out the movie, it is on Amazon Prime. You can purchase it for $2.99 on Amazon Prime. That's how I watched it. I told Austin, I said, I paid for your movie. He's like, I would have given it to you. And I was like, oh, well, paid for it now.
Well, thank you for
You
supporting.
know, what?
Yes, I'm from
Yep.
Wisconsin. I said thank you for supporting. I'm from Wisconsin. Val's
Mm-hmm.
views.
Yeah, Val's from Wisconsin too. What part of Wisconsin are you from?
Milwaukee.
She's from there too.
Oh wow. Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll have to chat with you later on then.
Yep, she's from there too. I'll be going to visit her soon, so maybe we could all meet up somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be nice. Okay.
You know, um, a lot of uh, are you guys okay with the storms? I know you guys had storms last week or the week before or something. Are you guys good with the storms?
Yeah, they weren't that bad. It was they had some tornadoes to the west of us out in outskirts areas, but we just had some thunderstorms. Nothing unusual. It's pretty normal for this time of year, but
Right,
just some
y'all's.
high wind.
I say y'all's weather is kind of like Florida's weather
Yeah, it's
because y'all
bipolar.
never.
Like it's bipolar up here. We'll have 70-degree weather one day, the next day it'll be in the 40s or something, and
Hmm.
we'll have the heat on one day and then the AC on the next day. It's
Hmm.
all over the place. So this is the time of
So
year
how
where it
did
starts to keep out.
right? That's us. We have bipolar weather because today there's supposed to be a cool front. What they say is a cool front coming through, and it's supposed to only be in the 80s. I'm like, what is that? It's not a
I
cool
mean,
front.
right. I'll
You know,
take it.
so I was like, okay, whatever. It's supposed to rain this afternoon, so hopefully we don't lose power. Because yesterday, I guess apparently I was at work and I came home, and my fiance and my mother-in-law were like, the power flickered, and they're like, did it flicker at work? And I was like, no, we didn't get any rain over there. And I like 30, so I work 30 minutes from where I live. I was like, oh, that's interesting,
Hmm.
So it's interesting how weather works like that,
Right. Yep. Definitely.
So how did you meet Austin anyway?
So with Austin, I was already acting, doing on the independent scene here in Wisconsin and in the Chicago area, and I just did my first own independent film. Not my first, my second technically, but one where I actually took it a little more serious. I wrote an independent film that was roughly around 15 minutes long. Um, I put it on YouTube, but during that time, I needed a guy to do sound, and I met a guy named Doug Montoya who actually played the other hitman in Sweet Killer Machines. But I met Doug, and then after we did that film, Doug Doug already knew Austin, and he reached out
Mhm.
to me because they were already planning on doing this film, but the guy that was originally supposed to play the character that I played backed out
Mhm.
for whatever different reasons, and so Doug reached out to me about 4 days in advance and said, "Hey, are you up for a challenge? Because this is a big one."
Mhm.
He sent me the script and basically said, "Hey, if you want to play this role here, you know, memorize this script here, and we're gonna be shooting this weekend in Madison, which is about an hour away from where I live, a little more than an hour." So I was like, "All right, I'm down." And so things aligned up. I didn't get the word for sure whether I would be needed or not until about 2 days prior. So I ended up going out there. We shot the film in a hotel and the surrounding area, and it was pretty crazy. It was a pretty wild experience, and that's when I met Austin. And then from that point on, we just took off, and here we are.
That's awesome. You know,
Mhm.
Val's asking you, which do you prefer? Do you like acting, writing, or producing better?
I prefer acting and writing. Producing is stressful. So far, I've written a few of my own films. They've been short films, but producing and getting everything, all the moving parts together and having them work properly, all that is pretty stressful and requires a strong team to be with you, um, doing their jobs and whatnot. But yeah, there's a lot of things that come with producing, and it can get to a point where it just becomes not fun. But acting and writing, I would say, are my specialties. I mean, I have a creative mind, a good imagination. I'm still a little kid in my mind a lot of times. So
Me
writing
too.
things and making up stories, yeah, writing and things and making up stories comes real easy with me. And then acting is make believe. So that comes natural to me, and I enjoy it. It's not even a lot of times it's not even work to me. So definitely acting and writing.
Right. I think we all have minds of kids in their minds sometimes, you know?
Hmm.
What a, what would you tell somebody if they're getting into acting, producing, or writing? What would you tell them if they're first starting out? What would you tell them?
I would tell them don't. I would tell them be patient and don't, especially with acting. Acting is feast or famine. I mean, you could either be getting booked for a bunch of different roles all at once, or you could be getting nothing. Like, and a lot of times, whenever I get booked through my agents, a lot of the jobs come back to back to back. But then when I'm not getting anything, it's like you're starving. So with acting, I would say don't base your happiness and your self esteem on acting or the business of acting or getting booked for roles, because if you do, you'll be jumping off a building or out of windows, because it's up and down constantly. It's a roller coaster. So have fun, stay patient, um, do it for the passion. If you can make money doing it, great. Find a way to make money doing it, but do not allow yourself to be too up or down based on the outcome of whatever you're going for. Don't focus on the results, just focus on the passion, and do the best you can. And as far as writing and producing, um, just write, just do what comes to mind. Let your thoughts flow. Don't worry about what if other people will see your vision or not. Just focus on what you think is great, and let it shine naturally, and then other people will watch it, and they'll eventually, the people who are meant to get what you're doing will get it. And yeah, just do it for the love, and then once you love it, you'll do a great job at it. If you do a great enough job at it, the money will come. So I would
Mm-hmm.
say focus on love first, and then the money and all the monetary stuff will come later. So I would say that those things would be my advice to someone starting out.
That's great advice. You know,
Thank you.
I know, like you guys every day put yourself on the line and stuff like that. But I was asking, what's your favorite genre to act or write?
Well, so far I've done some, I guess you could say, comedic stories, but they're not easy because not everybody's going to get whatever brand of humor you're going for. A lot of stuff may go over people's heads. So I would say drama. Drama is a lot of dramas. Everybody can relate to them. I mean, you can find a topic that can tug at the heartstrings of almost everybody, and you don't have to worry about, oh, will these people find this funny, or only this demographic will
Mm-hmm.
will find this funny. So comedy is pretty difficult to do. It's hard to make people laugh. People are pretty critical overall. I would say drama, because you can. For me personally, I get to dig down deep and hit some real emotions, and pull out some real traumas and things like that. Like I did for a role that I played. We did a short film in February where I played an abusive husband, and I actually dug into some real things. Not that I've ever been an abusive husband or witnessed abuse as far as like
Mm-hmm.
parents, but like I got to dig in deep with some real things and pull out
Mm-hmm.
and add to that character. So and everybody can kind of relate to that to a point. So I would say drama is my favorite.
Mhm. Have you ever done any? Would you ever do any horror or anything like that?
Yeah, definitely. I would love to do horror. Actually, I've wanted to write a few horror films myself. I've had some ideas that I've outlined for some horror films. Um, haven't put them into action yet, but the in the future, one of the future goals is to do some horror
Hmm.
films of my own that I would written. But I definitely would love to work. Definitely love to work on other people's projects that are horror projects. That would be a lot of
Hmm.
fun. And yeah,
I
absolutely.
I could see you as like the villain in a horror movie or something. I could see you as that.
Yeah, I
Especially
love
since
playing the villain.
what was that?
I love playing the villain. I love playing the hero or the villain. I like I don't know. I've been told I have a good guy face, but I like playing the villain that comes off as the good guy in the beginning, and then
Mhm.
you find out is really the bad guy. So
Right.
absolutely.
It's I think what it is it's those introverted people. They come off as like nice guys in like movies, and then because of the way your personality is, I'm saying, and then you're like, wait, he's the villain the whole time, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Like a
My
couple of
feature film.
things.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What was that? No, you're good.
No, I'm saying I wrote a feature film recently. We're in the process of getting it made, getting it funded to
Hmm.
get made. And my character is well, spoiler alert from whenever it gets made and gets put out. But my character comes off as the good guy in the beginning, like the ladies' man that's taking girls out on dates, but then come to find out he is the villain behind everything that's going on, all the bad things that are going on happening to the ladies. So yeah, so whenever that film gets made, spoiler alert, but
Mhm.
that's the role I'm playing in that film.
That's awesome. Well, let me know when it is so that way I could share it out and help you try to
Definitely,
get it out there. Let me know.
definitely.
Uh, Lynette's asking, what kind of horror films do you like?
I like horror films where there's a slasher, like a killer, because you know supernatural films like with ghosts and demons and all that is always been scary to me, and it's kind of like something like how do you fight something that's supernatural that you can't see? So it's kind of like I always got scared of those kind of things as a kid, and as a grown man too. I'm still scared of like ghost stories and things like that. So at least with a slasher film, it can be a real person as a human being. And so like after I watch a film, when I hear a noise and I'm looking around, I think, oh, okay, if I got this or I got my knife, I can at least fight the killer back instead of being possessed or something like that, or letting fighting something I can't see or touch, but something that can hurt me. So I would say slasher films are a little less scary, maybe. So I
Mhm.
prefer those kind of films. And plus, they make more sense a lot of times. So that's why I would
Right.
say, yeah,
Yeah. I'm the same way. I like more who done it type of films versus
yeah,
like, like the Poltergeist or something like that. I like Scream more than, or Michael,
right. But
more.
Michael Myers never dies though. He's been burned. He's been shot. He's been
Mhm.
run over by trucks, but he just doesn't die.
Right.
So is he? And he's like 80 years old by now. So it's kind of like, what is going on with this geriatric man on steroids, or is he supernatural?
Right.
I don't understand.
Right.
So
Right. And then Val said she was gonna ask the same question. You definitely look like he would be a slasher for a slasher.
well, thank you. I think
Hi, Del. And then you guys can also go follow Matthew on Instagram if you guys want to have a conversation with him, or if you guys want to have him on your channels, you guys can go have a conversation with him there. And I also put in your IDBM so that way people can find you that way as well.
oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. You know, because we all have to work together. Independent film people all have to work together. you
Yeah,
know.
absolutely. It can be a rough business. It's fun, but it's a rough business, and we all want to get to a point where we can make money doing it full time instead of having to, go into the 9 to 5 realm. No, nothing
Right.
wrong with that. That's what people want to do, but some other people are just wired a little differently, and creative
Hmm.
people, we have to do something different. So,
Right. Do you think you would ever
yeah,
do like animated films, like like Frozen or something like that, like a
yeah, I
Frozen
would.
movie or Disney movie?
Yeah, I would. I would definitely do a voiceover for an animated film. I was actually scheduled to do an animated series with Doug, a friend of mine. Um, that hasn't happened yet, but I was going to play a character in that, and I'm definitely open to doing those type of things.
Right. That's awesome. Hey, if you ever need extras, we'll come be extras in your movie.
Okay, yeah, I'll hold you to that.
Mm. Hey, I was an extra in Burn Notice because my friend. Are you familiar with Burn Notice?
Yeah, it's a TV show, right?
Yeah, my best friend's sister wrote for that show, so I actually got to
Okay.
go be an extra in Burn Notice, and then I'm also in the video. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Alan Jackson
Mhm.
did the video. I'm in the background. Did the video at this place in Jupiter, Florida,
Oh,
called for a grouper, and I actually am in that video too. So I've been in a
okay.
couple of videos, not much, but
Yeah.
just standing
Well,
around, just drink. What was
do you
that?
act at all? Do you act at all?
No,
Oh, okay.
I mean, like in high school, I used to high school and middle school. I'd always take drama as the elective because I figured it's better than PE, so I don't have to go outside. So I would always pick that as an elective, but
Oh,
I wasn't like any good. I mean, like I was in a couple of plays, but I wasn't like the main like actor. I was more like the supporting actor. So,
hmm
we
oh,
did
okay.
Mary Poppins and we did Ragtime
Oh, yeah. They had a film with that Samuel
and
L. Jackson, right?
yeah. And then we also did Oklahoma and then we did Hairspray. In high school,
Oh,
those are high school ones that I was in. Middle
okay.
school,
All right.
they were all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So, So I was more of the
Nice.
supporting actor. So I guess my acting is more of the supporting actress, but that's fine. But
Yeah.
now since I've been an adult and I've been out of school for like I don't since 2005, I haven't really done anything just because I don't know how to get to like that part. So I just never did it.
Mhm. Well, yeah. Let me know. You're always welcome to be an extra in anything that I write or do. So
All right.
yeah,
Uh, if I
already.
was saying some of the best independent films I've seen are indie films. Yes,
Mhm.
they are.
Yeah, I agree.
You
I
know,
agree.
because what I tell people is that indie films have more heart than some of the high blockbuster movies that we watch and see.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
because the people actually care about it.
Yeah,
That's what I say.
there's better stories, better higher quality stories instead of a bunch of special effects and all that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'll have to
And
send you some of my writing. I'll have to send you some of my writing, and you'll let me know what you think of it. Because I do write
okay,
plays and short stories and stuff.
okay, yeah, definitely. Send them on to me.
Yeah, I will. Uh,
Mal's views, yeah. Acting and writing is something I've always wanted to do. I acting more. I would say definitely since grade school. Acting is something I always imagined myself doing, but I didn't consciously say to myself I wanted to do it until like high school. And then writing in high school, I wrote a lot of creative stories um, in class and stuff. And I wrote several actually. And I remember the teachers always complimenting me on my writing. And there was one time I did a project. It was for art class actually. I was like a freshman in high school, and I drew out a whole story. Not that I can draw, but I drew out a whole storyboard type of thing and wrote a story. It was creative. It was real
mhm,
creative actually. And the teacher didn't believe that I did it. And he had me
mhm,
present my project in front of the class. and he tried to talk to me and test me on the story, and he didn't for nothing believe that I wrote the story. So a lot of people always were surprised on like the stories and things that I wrote, saying, "Oh, you didn't write that. Oh, no, there's no way you did that." And I always would have to show them, yes, I I I I can write stories well. So yes, it's always something I've wanted to do, and always something I've been naturally good at. So here I am.
Right. Have you ever thought about putting some of your writings into like a book, like into like a novel? Have you ever thought of that?
I thought about it, but I think book formatting is seems to be kind of complicated. So I kind of enjoy writing scripts a little more. But yeah, I've thought about that. That might be something I could do in the future. I might end up leaning that direction. But for right now, I just like writing screenplays and acting. Obviously, acting
Right.
would be my passion.
Would you ever direct anything?
Yes, yeah, I would. I've co-directed, assistant directed a couple projects, but I have yet to be the sole director for anything. I've just wanted to kind of focus on acting and writing, well, and producing. But acting, when I act in a film, so if it's something that I've written, so if I'm acting, so usually I'd focus on being acting, writing, and producing. I'll let someone else direct, because if I'm directing and trying to wear too many hats on set, it takes away from me focusing on the performance that I'm trying to provide. So acting, when I would handle everything beforehand, behind, pre-production wise, and then when we're all set, I need to focus pretty much solely on acting. So I would let someone else direct. That's when Austin usually comes in. He's a great director, and yeah. But if I'm going to direct something, I probably would have only a small role in acting in it, or not act at all. So
Right.
that'd be something. Yeah, that'd be something I'm open to doing in the future.
I was saying indie films have to be creative to get what they want people to see on the screen. A lack of budget, which is 99% of the time, that turns out amazing. Yep, that is so true.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
They make up for
Yep.
the lack of special effects and all that with good writing, good camera angles, and good acting.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So what so what so out of all your like people you met, who do you think you'll have like in another movie or something, any of the actors in another movie that you might act in that you would like to work
Well,
with that you've worked with before?
yeah, definitely Austin. Obviously, he's
Mm-hmm.
he's been kind of my right hand man with a lot of different things, and I've been the same to him. We're doing a film, or his film this summer. We're shooting another film that he wrote. Um,
Yep,
he wrote,
that's what he
produced,
was
directed.
telling me.
Yep. It's a vampire film, so I play one of the main characters. I play a vampire in that. I'm supposed to be over 2,000 years old, and I meet up with other vampires who are younger than me, who turned much more recently, and we're on like kind of a road trip. So it's pretty much like a comedy. I guess you could call it a dark comedy. We're on a road trip in an RV, um,
Mm-hmm.
going to party and hang out, and it just shows
Mm-hmm.
all the things that happen en route to us going to our little vacation destination, and all the things that are going on, and the people that are trying to hunt us because they don't like vampires, and us fighting them off, and all that kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So it's called Sand Queen Teeth on a driftless road. We'll be shooting that this summer, and hopefully it will be done probably early 2025. And
Yeah, that
but
will be
yeah, that's
awesome. That would be awesome to
yeah.
see.
Yeah, there's a few other actors that I've met along the way that I would definitely like to work with, but haven't worked with them as quite as often. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, and see
Right,
who I bond with more in the future going forward.
right, exactly. That's what I tell people. Val goes, "Oh, vampire film." Hey, I like vampires over werewolves any day.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Me too. I don't like how werewolves don't have control over when they turn. They just, well, I guess when it's a full moon, they have no control over that, and they just turn and they're out of control and they don't remember what they do and they wake up naked in a field the next day.
Right.
I'm not a big fan of all that. I like vampires just being able to, they live forever and they go around just preying on people and their superhuman strength and they can fly, they can do whatever. But I just don't like the fact that the sun hurts them. That's the only thing that
Right.
I don't like vampires.
Well, they could always get like like in Vampire Diaries, they could always get like a ring or something or a necklace that they could go in sunlight.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
could go in
And garlic
sunlight.
too. Yeah, for whatever reason, garlic hurts them. I don't get that. But me
That the
personally, I
sun
like
hurts?
the sun. Garlic, and the sun.
Oh yeah.
I don't know
Yeah,
how
I never
garlic.
got why garlic hurt them. I never got that, but who knows? Maybe it's
But I
back in
love the sun
Dracula's
personally.
time.
Yeah, maybe I couldn't be a vampire just because I love the sun. So I need some strong sunscreen, I guess.
Right. So then you might have to be like a shapeshifter because they can go in sunlight. So you'd have to be like a
Yeah,
shapeshifter.
yeah, definitely.
Or like a pixie,
Yep.
like a fairy. Because
Yeah, very.
I don't know if you know that True Blood kind of went off the rails because have you ever seen True Blood? They kind of went
I've
off the
seen a
rails.
couple episodes. Yeah, on
Yeah,
HBO.
they kind of went off the rails because they started introducing like werewolves and shapeshifters and fairies and stuff. And I was like, what? What the heck is this?
Right. Yeah, I
Why
didn't
didn't
get
you
that
just
far.
stick with the vampires?
Right, like
You know,
vampires aren't good enough.
right?
Vampires are plenty entertaining enough.
Right, exactly. So do you have any like director or famous actor that you would like to work with?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love Denzel Washington is my favorite actor. Um, I would love to work with Samuel Jackson. Leonardo DiCaprio is one of my favorites. Yeah, there's a lot of actors. A lot of older actors I watched growing up, like the Robert De
Mm-hmm.
Niro's.
Mm-hmm.
Um, who else? Kevin Bacon is another one. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's all kinds of people I would love to work with. If I could ever get them to work on a film that
Mm-hmm.
I write one day, that'd be awesome. If I could ever be casted in one of the film that they're in, or that that they
Mm-hmm.
direct, that'd be phenomenal. So yeah, there's a lot of actors I've looked up to in different ways or kind
Mm-hmm.
of modeled. Like there was a film that I did, a short film that I wrote. I play a crooked cop. It's called Get 'Em. I have it on
Mm-hmm.
my YouTube channel. I kind of modeled that character in a way after Denzel Washington's character in the film Training Day, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he's one of the actors that I've definitely looked to when it comes to like his methods and his performance in
Mm-hmm.
a lot of different ways. Yeah, there's a lot of actors I love, famous actors I
Right.
would love to work with one day.
Who who doesn't love Denzel Washington? I love Denzel Washington.
Yeah, exactly.
Who doesn't like him? Or who doesn't like Samuel L. Jackson, especially when he was in Star Wars and he got the purple lightsaber? I was like, how did he get the purple lightsaber?
Right. Yep. He's a.
I actually have his lightsaber because I built it in Disney.
Oh, you
I
did.
wanted the
Okay.
I wanted the purple lightsaber, so I got myself a purple lightsaber.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a very versatile actor. Play a
Because
wide
he
variety
can
of characters.
like look at him in Jackie Brown or look at him in Pulp Fiction. He can go like
Yep.
from comedy to like just straight up like the villain. Look at him in did you see that one Glass with him in it?
Yep. Glass. Yeah, where he's
Yeah.
using the wheelchair. They made a recent
hmm
film with that too, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's part of that it's like part of I think it's M Night Shyamalan that made it. I don't remember, but
Hmm. Yeah, it
it's part
was
of
him.
like it's part of like a two like or three movies and they're all like together or something.
Yep. It's a series, it's a franchise, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. That movie I was like, holy crap. When I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, you know what I'm saying? I was like,
Right.
dang. But I've always wanted to work with Robert De Niro. If I ever had a chance, I would always want to work with
Yeah.
him. him and Al
Definitely,
Pacino.
definitely.
But then I won't know what to do, because you remember that movie that 50 Cent was in with them, and he
Hmm.
said he worked with them, and he was like quiet the whole time, and he said Robert De Niro walked up to him, "Why are you being quiet?" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I wouldn't know
You
what to
know.
do with them either. I would be silent too. I worked with Chris Rock once. I was when I was doing background work on the show Fargo, and
Hmm.
he played the mob. I don't know if you ever watched it, but he played
Yeah.
basically the mob boss, and I played one of his henchmen. I stood next to
Uh-huh.
him on set for 13 hours just by his side, and I didn't. Well, they told us don't talk to Chris or don't talk to the other actors, but I was just like I didn't know what to do or say anyway, and
Hmm.
he talked at me a couple times, but he didn't talk to me. He just was talking
Right.
out loud, and I was standing right next to him, and he's like kind of talking at me, just said some random
Hmm.
thoughts. But same type of thing. I didn't know really, even if I was allowed to talk to him, I wouldn't really know what to say exactly without like
Right.
pestering. So I kind of just was
Hmm.
quiet naturally. He said something
Hmm.
like he was talking out loud to himself, and he was just like, "My father said, always told me, only fight family fair. Everyone else, you hit with a brick." And I just started laughing. I don't know what he
Right.
was talking about or why he said that exactly or how it was relevant to anything, but I started laughing just because it was
Hmm.
Chris Rock and because it was silly. It sounded funny,
Right.
but I didn't know what he was talking about. But yeah, that would I would definitely be kind of lost for words with a lot
Hmm.
of different actors. But unless they're just real personable and they reach out and say something to you first.
Right. Hmm. I agree with you. Val saying
Yeah,
Denzel's good in Bone Collector. He is.
yeah, he was. I didn't like how he was laying in the bed the whole film, but yeah, that was a very good
Right.
film though.
I haven't seen that in a long time. I should
Yeah, I
watch
was a
it again.
kid. Yeah, I was a kid. I watched it back when it came out. I remember, but I remember it though. Fallen. That was a good film. That was
Hmm.
one of my favorites with him in. I don't know if you remember that film or not.
Yes, I do. I remember that film. Like
Mhm.
back when I was like a little kid, and like when I grew up as a teenager, anytime Denzel Washington, I would go to Blockbuster. You remember Blockbuster? I don't know if y'all
Yep.
had those in your
Oh yeah.
towns.
Yep. I grew
Um,
up going to
so
Blockbuster as a kid.
anytime eh, anytime Leonardo DiCaprio's new movie came out, anytime Denzel Washington's new movie came out, I'd always be at the Blockbuster. You guys have the new movie?
Yeah, I miss Blockbuster. Yeah.
You know.
Netflix. I mean, I like Netflix, but yeah, they put Blockbuster out of business, and I don't know. I just kind of salty about that. I liked Blockbuster. I like being able to just go to a place and rent a film, and you know,
Mhm.
I don't know. It's just different having a physical copy of a film, like a
Right.
DVD.
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember. I miss because I had a DVD collection. It's kind of like obsolete now. I miss buying
Mhm.
DVDs and having that
Right.
physical copy.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, now it's all about streaming. Or a lot of people still, like Patrick, he still collects movies. I don't know if you know that. Patrick still collects
oh,
movies and Blu-rays and stuff like that. He has a
mhm.
whole collection of them.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Ask him about
nice.
it.
I mean, as long as you
He'll
have a
tell you.
Blu-ray player, DVD player, it's fine. I
Yeah.
mean, work out just fine.
I do a lot of streaming now just because it's just easier.
Right, a
I
little
do
more
have
convenient.
yeah. I do have some physical media, but I just stream a lot of stuff. I used to go, like, when I used to go to Blockbuster, everybody would know me in that Blockbuster. They'd be like, "Hey, Katie, how you doing?" And then I would get like the latest like Xbox game or a PlayStation game, just because they all knew me, and I would get like the movies like the day before they came out because they would let me have it. So I got it like that,
Oh, that's good. That's a good connection.
you know, because I think movies, like, even if you're having like a bad day in your life, movies just take you to different places for like a little while, you
Yeah, they
know.
do. Yep, you can escape. You escape from reality. You can pretend you're that character. You can,
Mhm.
yeah, it's great. I used to do that as a kid. If I had a bad day at school or reality
Mhm.
wasn't where I wanted it to be, I'd just go watch some film and imitate some character that, I'd rather
Mhm.
be more like than myself at the time. So
Right.
even do that as an
Right.
adult to a point, not as much now, but
Right.
definitely when I was a kid, that definitely was the
Mhm.
case.
So what does your kids think of you as an actor? Do they like it, or are they like, "Daddy, can we see your film?"
Yeah, they do. They don't say too much. My oldest, I remember when I was doing acting class online a little more than a year ago. My son was hanging. My oldest, he was hanging around, and he heard me doing these exercises and reciting these lines, and he's also heard me doing some rehearsals on Zoom with some projects that I wrote with other actors, and he always has some
Mhm.
comments like, "Oh, you sound goofy," or "You sound, stupid," or something like that. But he ended up doing a play production class at school recently, and he enjoyed it. Um, and then my other son, he's asked to watch a couple of my films, but they're not really for kids. So I'll say when you get older, yeah, you can check that
Mhm.
out. But a lot of times, my daughter, who's only
Mhm.
4, she'll see a video of me talking or something, a clip of something I'm in. And she's like, "Daddy, is that you? How did you
Mhm.
get on there?" And she'll
Mhm.
see pictures or videos, something of me on social media, and she'll
Mhm.
be like, "Oh, Daddy, how would you get on there?" That kind of thing. She'll be real interested.
Right.
But tried to get my boys into acting before.
Mhm.
My oldest hasn't seemed to have an interest in it to this point, but he's still in
Mhm.
school and doing sports, so he's kind of occupied. But my younger son, he seems to have a little more interest, but he's only 10. So we'll see in the future.
Mhm.
We'll see what happens. I
Right.
know in the state of Illinois, you have to have a Coogan account and you have to have work
Mhm.
permits for kids and all that. So there's a lot of paperwork that needs to be done. So we'll see.
Gotcha.
We'll see what happens if they get
Right.
interested more in it.
That would be
Mhm.
cool. And what does your wife think? Does she like you as an actor? Does she like it?
Yeah, she likes it. She's liked seeing the films that I've done so far, but she has her uh, she has her reservations about it. Also, she's made
Mhm.
comments. She's watched YouTube videos about secret societies and this and that
Mhm.
and the crazy things that go on in Hollywood and et cetera, and all kinds of
Mhm.
stuff. And she'll be like, "Oh, you want to get into that field, or you're in that field? Oh, that scares me," and all this other kind of stuff that I think is kind of nonsense. But
Right.
she has her reservations about it, and but she does like seeing the work that I've done or been in
Mhm.
to this point. So
Well, that's good.
hopefully it just gets better.
Just tell her. Just tell her I'm not gonna go in any secret club.
Right, you're right, exactly. I'm not part of any secret parties and any of
You
this other
know.
stuff. Yeah.
Mhm. How hard was it to break into the industry coming from such a small city market?
Um, it's been it's been challenging because living in a city like Milwaukee, it's nothing but independent actors and filmmakers, but it's kind of a small community, so everybody kind of knows everybody. But Chicago's bigger; it's a little more saturated. That's how I kind of pretty much broke into it. But it was difficult, but it's not too difficult, and I'm still on the up and coming. But
Mhm.
really, it just depends on who you meet. Who it's all about networking, like with any other business, networking, meeting
Mhm.
good people, um, working hard, and just believing in yourself and your abilities. I know it sounds cliche, but that's really what it comes down to, and not quitting, not giving up,
Mhm.
no matter
Mhm.
what, and
Right.
it'll pay off someday. So it still is a little challenging, but at the same
Mhm.
time, it kind of makes it a little easier to work on your own projects, your own independent projects. And
Mhm.
if you're solely an actor relying on getting booked by your agent or other people to see you and recognize your talent and cast you in something, that can be a little more depressing, kind of like what I was
Mhm.
saying at the beginning. Your emotions just ride that roller coaster and you can get down. But if you create your
Mhm.
own material, or link up with people who are creating their own material, makes it a lot more enjoyable and can make it a lot easier to be part of the industry and to be seen and break into it, if you will.
Mhm.
But yeah, it is challenging, but at the same
Right.
time, it's less saturated as some bigger market. So I guess you could say it's a little easier in some aspects.
I was gonna say you could always maybe put your feature film in Sundance and maybe go that route too. You know.
Yeah, it has to get selected. It has to get selected for Sundance, but yeah, that is definitely a goal, and hopefully that becomes a reality.
You know. Look at I don't know if you know Ryan Johnson, he did like Brick and Looper and stuff like that. And Brick
Oh,
actually
Looper.
got one of those got to Sundance, and then he became like this famous like director and stuff. I don't know if
Oh,
you're
okay.
familiar with him.
Yeah, Looper. I remember the film Looper.
Yep. He
Yeah.
directed that film. He actually wrote that film for Bruce Willis. That was
Oh,
interesting.
wow.
He actually wrote
Okay.
that film and and for Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He actually wrote that film for them. I thought that was
Oh, wow.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
That was a
I
pretty
I
crazy
always
film.
wanted to meet Joseph. It is a great film. I also always wanted to meet Joseph Gordon-Levitt too because he's like he has his own like little thing. I don't know if it's still online or anything, but he had this thing called Hit Record, and he would get like people from all around the world, and they would work on projects together on that like website, and they've done a couple of things, and I thought that was interesting.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah. There's certain
it's interesting.
actors that are famous that are going that do a lot of independent work, and they help out people, independent filmmakers and actors,
Mm-hmm.
help them succeed, and that's great. I respect that big time, and I want to be one of
Mm-hmm.
those actors, famous actors in the future, and be able to help out other independent people, independent filmmakers and creatives and actors reach their
Mm-hmm.
goals. So that's one of
That
my
would be
goals right there. Hmm.
That would be awesome, you know. Like I tell people all the time, follow your dreams no matter what you do in life. Follow it because look at all the famous actors and actresses and people told them, "Hey, you can't do that." And they're like, "Watch me." I'll
Hmm.
prove you wrong, you know.
Exactly. And that's the mentality I keep. I purposely got to keep myself on track to keep that same mentality because it's easy to get discouraged in life in general, no
Mhm.
matter what you do with your for a living or
Mhm.
whatever your circumstances are. But like with that in particular, there's a lot of roadblocks that have been put in my way on different at different times, and I just keep that same mentality of just moving forward, jumping over them, pushing them out of
Mhm.
the way, whatever I got to do, going around them, and
Mhm.
yeah, it's you just have to be mentally tough at the end of the day and
Right. Mhm.
not give up no matter what.
Right. Mhm.
Hmm.
So what's hard? What do you think the hardest thing about if somebody's gonna produce a movie? What do you think the hardest thing is? Is it like getting the money, or getting the actors, or the sets? What do you think?
I think the hardest part is getting the money, definitely by far, and that's my challenge. That's what my challenge has been so far. Getting the actors can be relatively easy, especially if you have relationships with those actors. Getting locations can be pretty easy too because you can just go with people you know. If you know someone that owns a bar or a bowling alley or whatever, you can work out some deal where you can go in there, you advertise their business, this free promotion, free
Mhm.
advertisement for them. So you can get that location without paying them. Um, all that can be relatively easy. Reaching out and communicating with people, feeding them, all that is not too difficult.
Mhm.
Even organizing and scheduling things, which can be a headache. Now that's the hardest. That's the biggest headache is the
Right.
scheduling, things like that. But getting the money is by far the hardest part, in my opinion. Or
Mhm.
knowing people who can get you the money
Right.
I think, is the hardest part, or most frustrating part. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, getting everybody's schedules, like the actors, seeing when they're available, all that is a headache, but it's definitely not the hardest part. It's the money aspect, and that's why a lot of people don't get their films made because they have trouble meeting or knowing or raising
Mhm.
the money themselves, or they try to fund films themselves and it can get them in financial trouble. So,
Right.
so yeah, definitely the hardest part.
Val saying this is one of the things that I have noticed in the indie film side of making. How willing are they wanting to help others?
Hmm.
And then
Yeah.
she's saying the other. Go ahead.
No, I was saying there's a lot of people who are willing to help others. I've met them, and then there's, I mean, actors wise, and there's a lot of actors they just want to act. They just want to be seen. They want to do what they love. They don't even. A lot of them don't even necessarily care about the money. And I myself am like that a lot of times. I just want to act, but then there's other people that solely care about how much money are they going to get paid, how much work do they really have to do. They have a, oh, okay, I'll come help out if
Mm-hmm.
not too time consuming. And a lot of times those people are not the best actors. The best actors are the people who will be willing. They just want to act. They just want to be part of
Mm-hmm.
a project, a movement, and they just love to do it. The people that are hard to get a lot of times that I've found are people that aren't that good in the first place. So
Mm-hmm.
just, I mean, just to be, just to be honest. But so the people that I've wanted to work with usually are the people who are like, yeah, I'm down. Just send me the script. As long as I'm available during this time, I'm down. That kind of thing. Those are the best people, skill
Right.
wise and wise most of the time.
And then Val saying the other two indie filmmakers I know say the same thing. Most difficult is to get the money. It depends on the crowd and a lot of funding.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
crowdfunding.
Yeah.
Yeah, crowdfunding, because if you're relying on friends and family to give you money to do something, a lot of times it's crickets. It can be crickets, and people
Mm-hmm.
will be, hey, I want to see a film, this and that, blah blah blah. But yet, when it comes time to ask for money from people, then a lot of times that's a whole
Mm-hmm.
nother story. So,
Yeah, we.
I mean, I do have a great support system overall. My family is supportive. But like a lot of times other people it can it can be a different story, like with coming to help make things happen. It's just it can be a totally different story a lot of times. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's definitely challenging.
That's what I tell people. Like since I've been interviewing like indie film people, what I tell them is if I can help you in any way, just let me know. That's what I tell
Mhm.
people. Like let me know. I'll try to help you best I can. I'll put it on all my social medias for you, whatever you need.
Yeah, and that's great. Great people like you are definitely needed. It's definitely appreciated, and that's exactly how it should be, in my opinion.
Because without indie films, I think the world would be different. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole like thing because otherwise we'd just have Hollywood movies and Hollywood movies aren't always the best either, you
No, they're
know.
not. They have the biggest budgets, but they're not the best. They have the
Right.
most
Mhm.
action with their special effects, but that's about it. Like the stories aren't the greatest, and even
Mhm.
sometimes the acting isn't the greatest. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, definitely independent films. Even the one independent films on Netflix, a lot of them are real good.
Yeah. Oh, I watch a lot of those and I found a lot of them on
Mm.
Tubi. I don't know if you're familiar with Tubi.
Oh yeah,
Found a lot of independent films on Tubi.
I've been in a couple films on Tubi. Three of them actually. I have smaller roles in them, but I've been in three. I'm in three films that are playing on. Two of them are on Tubi right now, but the third one is still in post production. And
Oh, okay.
I play a cop. I play a cop in all three of them.
Oh, that's awesome.
One
I'll have to go
they're
see if I
called
can type in your name and find it.
yeah. It's called first one's called All About a Check, and the second one is called Family Code. And then
Mm.
the third one that's in post production is All About a Check 2. It's the sequel to All About a Check.
I think I actually seen All About a Check the other day when I typed in indie films. I actually seen
Oh, you
it the other
did?
day, like 2 or 3 days ago, and
Okay.
I was like, "What's this movie about?" I didn't click on it because I ended up I've ended up doing something else, but I was like, "What is this movie about?" I found it, but it was like, "Oh,"
Yeah,
but I didn't
I
end up.
play a cop. I'm towards the end of the film, interrogating one of the main females that are.
Mhm,
She's a girlfriend of one of the drug dealers, and
mhm,
me and my partner corner her in a hotel, and we're interrogating her. So, and then
gotcha.
I'm at the end of the film, kicking in the door, arresting
Mhm,
people in a. There's no sound,
right,
but you see me kicking the door, and I'm pointing my gun at everybody. I feel real powerful and
right.
strong and everything.
That's really
But
cool though.
yeah. So
Thing, Val saying, but the creativity comes with indie films because the lack of budget most of the time is much better than the higher budget films. Yeah, that is true.
yeah, I agree. Absolutely.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree too. That's why I like indie films, just because the writing's better, the acting's usually better. Even though that a lot of people, like if you go on like Letterbox or something like that, a lot of people uh, boost down indie films. But I'm like, I love indie films.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Same
You
here.
know.
I agree.
People, I don't know why people boost down indie films so much. I'm like, people have to start somewhere. That's what I tell people all the
Yep.
time, like in the film community on like Instagram, stuff like that, Facebook. I'm like, people have to start somewhere. Where do you think they started?
Yeah.
Like you look at
Most
Robert
famous
De Niro.
actor.
If you look at Denzel Washington, he didn't start in Hollywood. He started in backgrounds and stuff like that.
Yeah, he was doing theater in New York, and then he got
Hmm.
into more smaller roles, and then yeah, everybody starts with independent films, and then a lot of times there's independent films that become famous, become big time because they did so well at a
Hmm.
festival or something, they get put in theaters. So yeah,
Yep.
independent films is where everything starts, and yeah, some of the best stories are independent films.
Hmm. And they have depend more on practical effects, which she loves. Yeah, I love practical effects.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite
Exactly.
practical effects is American Werewolf in London. That's like one of my favorite
Oh yes,
practical.
yeah, yeah. That came out in the '80s, right?
Hmm.
That was pretty creepy. That was a creepy film.
Yeah,
That was
and
pretty.
back then they didn't even have technology like that, and so they did like that practical effect with the werewolf. I thought that was like the
Yep.
coolest thing ever.
Right when he turned into the werewolf.
Yeah.
Yeah, the werewolf's very creepy too. I know when they did
Hmm.
that American Werewolf in Paris in I don't know if that was in the '90s or something or early
Yeah, it
2000s,
was.
but
I think it was in
that
the
wasn't
'90s.
yeah that wasn't as good. That was a little more special effects and
Hmm.
not as good as the original one.
Right. Or if you look at Back to the Future, they did a lot of practical effects in that movie too.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
the older Back to the
Yep.
Future, except for the third one. The
Yep.
third one sucked. I don't like the third one, but I like the
Oh, you don't
first
like the
two.
third one? That was my first.
I
My
don't like.
favorite one was the
I don't like when they go to the Wild Wild West. I'm like, what is this movie?
third. Oh, I like that. I like the Wild West part of it. That was one of the things I liked the most. I don't know. Yeah, that was my favorite one out of that franchise.
But I'm not a Western type of person. I mean, like if you or Austin did, or one of my other filmmaker friends, if they did a Western, I would watch it. But I'm not a Western person. Patrick gets mad at me all the time for it.
Yeah,
I say
I'm
no.
not a Western fan, but I like certain things about Western films. I like how lawless it was. I like how they just seemed to do whatever they wanted. They had duels in the middle of the street, shot each other.
Mhm.
Everybody, everything was about ego and honor and all that other kind of
Mhm.
stuff. Like I don't know, I
Yeah,
just like that aspect of it. But then I don't like the way they dressed, and I don't like
right.
that whole
The
thing.
only
But
the only one that I like, the only Western film that I like is Walking in the Tombstone, and then I also like Wild Wild West with Kevin Kline and
Will
Will Smith.
Will Smith, yeah, Right. Yeah.
Val says, I'm an 80s, 70s, and 80s kid, so I grew up with the best practical effect movies. She did, yeah. She did. All right, guys. It is time to go. Thank you so much, Matt, for coming on and talking and hanging out for a little while and telling people your perspective on movies and all your projects that are coming up.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. And you're welcome back. Like I told Austin, you guys are welcome back anytime you guys want to come. You guys are welcome back when you guys have the time. Maybe I'll have you guys all on and we can watch your movies or something. That would be fun.
Yeah, definitely. And hopefully our next project we'll be able to show that on a large platform. We could even show it here. So
yeah,
thank you for having me.
You're welcome. All right, guys. I will see you next weekend when Val, Patrick, me, and Eric come and do the wonderful world of Hallmark. We're doing Love Locks. So come hang out with us for that. And I'll probably do some reviews this week. I've been busy in my work schedule. But I hope you guys have a great week, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye, everybody.
Have a good night. Thank you.